Hi, Brian from Live from the Lockdown Lounge. It's Saturday night, and we are still kind of in lockdown. Hey, we're very, very excited tonight. We have got a wonderful, wonderful guest in store. I've even worn my best shirt, my very, very best shirt in the house. I've worn that. I've done my hair. I've done one hair. And I look amazing. So it's all going to happen. So for those of you that are joining us for the very first time, where have you been? We are live from the Lockdown Lounge, and we're all about supporting the music industry by telling stories and a little bit of music, a little bit of story, a little bit of laughter, a little bit of, a little bit of jokes from yours truly, dad jokes, of course. And do you know what? We are brought to you by the amazing people at Cranbourne Music. Did you know that their stores are open? So you can go in, you can buy stuff, just go in there, buy stuff. Their stores are at Limbrook and Elizabeth Street City. Shop online, click and collect, or get it delivered. Now, like I said, for those of you that are watching us for the first time, it's about storytelling, it's about music, and we've got some regular segments: chat, music, gig chicken, coping with lockdown, our new segment back when I thought I was cool, and we've got a great entry from our guest today. But we always start with pets are good for ratings. Now, you may be scratching your head and saying, what have pets got to do with music? Well, nothing, but we're just trying to claw ratings. So we put pets and music together, and it's kind of entertaining. So here we've got a rockabye cat. Roll the video.
Ready? Rockabye on the tree. When the wind, the cradle will. When the bough, the cradle will. And I will come cradling.
Oh, okay. So the cat was singing, or the cat was in pain. I think that the girl was holding the cat like a bagpipe, and every time she squeezed it, then the cat would make that noise. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited about our guest tonight on Saturday night. I don't know why every time I say Saturday night I have to say it like that, but hey, it's Saturday night. Now, he is, we build the tension, okay? Even though we've been advertising who this person is all week, and you know who it is, we like to pretend this is what we do in the TV industry. When I say TV industry, I mean my laptop with my camera in my bedroom. Anyway, he is an ARIA award-winning, multi-platinum selling recording artist. He was invited to sing. Now, I'm just going to pause for a second here. He was invited to sing at Stevie Wonder's daughter's birthday. So Stevie Wonder didn't want to sing himself. He invited our guest to go and sing. So you'd think he's going to be pretty good, right? He is. He's pretty good. So his musical background includes fronting the multi-platinum selling band, I'm giving it away, CDB, widely regarded as pioneers of R&B music in Australia. He's written songs for a number of Australian artists, including Guy Sebastian, Anthony Kalia, Christine Anu, Jimmy Barnes, American soul singer Taylor Dayne. He's co-written the World Youth Day anthem for 2008 with Guy Sebastian. Wow. He's been on Dancing with the Stars as the featured vocalist. He's a mentor on The Voice and The Masked Singer. He's currently touring with Jimmy Barnes, Tina Arena, Guy Sebastian. He is a true master vocalist, award-winning songwriter, and a tireless mentor of new talent. This is the longest bio we've ever read, but that's because there's just so much to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the one and only Gary Pinto. Hello, Gary.
Hey, hello. How are you, Brian? Thank you for having me, buddy.
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining us. Apologies for taking so long to read your bio, but that's your fault.
No, when I hear it back, I'm thinking, wow, there's a lot of stuff that's happened. So I feel very blessed to be part of, the music industry and still kicking on at this juncture 25 years in or more than 30 years in. So
wow. Yeah, because you started, now I've done my research. So you started when you were 16 or so. You got a recording deal when you're perhaps 18, first year of uni. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So CDB started when I was 16 and Brad was 15 and Danny 15 and Andrew 16 and there's another guy called Brennan who was in it and Chris Orwin also. So they started as a graffiti group who used to do graffiti sort of on, bus shelters and all this kind of stuff, and then moved into dancing and dance competitions, and then became writing songs with Andrew De Silva, and Brad started writing. We all started writing, and then we got signed to Sony, and the rest is just continuing working in the music industry since then.
Wow. And so graffiti to R&B, how does that work?
Well, back in the 90s, it was kind of interlinked, So you look at Redhead Kingpin and the Juice soundtrack and EPMD and all the rap artists that we used to listen to in the R&B and hip hop scene. They were into graffiti and street art and all this kind of stuff. So we kind of grew up. My brother was a great artist, and he morphed into doing graffiti. And Jason Catherine, a friend of ours, is an incredible artist from Melbourne in a group called RDC. He sort of mentored my brother through graffiti, and it was just a thing in the 90s, and the CDB, the actual letters were great letters together. It didn't actually mean anything when it first was written. So the band came out of 3 letters that looked good as a graffiti tag. So it moved into dancing and singing and songwriting after that.
Those 3 letters, and I have done my research, Gary. So this is how professional. We've got a big budget of. Actually, we've got no budget, but I still spend a lot of time. So I know 2 of the letters. I know C, create, and B, believe, and D is Dandenong.
No. We're from Dandenong. Create, dream, believe is the 3. So it morphed into that. It meant a lot of different things along the way. But Critically Deaf Boys was one of the original. Deaf was a cool thing in the 90s. As I'll show you later on, I've got a photo. I've sent you what we used to do in the 90s. Things are very different now when we thought we were really cool back then.
Yeah. Well, look, and you have sent us a great photo for the segment back when I thought I was cool. I must say, I did look around the internet and you were pretty cool all the time, my friend. You were I shouldn't say you were, because you still are a very, very good looking man, but you are a very, very, very good looking younger man.
Thanks. Oh, I don't know. We dance so much. At CDB, we used to dance like every night, 1.5 hours for the gig. We couldn't put on any weight, so we used to try and eat pizzas and Hungry Jacks as much as we could to try and put on as much weight as we could, because we couldn't, even though we go to the gym 5 days a week, we could never put on weight because we'd burn it off in dancing. So I think we were always fit and it was good to sort of have that as our base. We gigged a lot. Yeah,
no, you gigged heaps. And I should point out to our audience that so your second cousin Alyssa and my daughter Sabrina have been best friends since they were 5 years old. So it kind of makes us related.
Yes, absolutely. If Indians are all related. I mean, my parents from India, so we all have we call everyone uncle and auntie, and so I'm sure we're related somewhere along the line. What's your nationality? What's your background?
Family's all coming around for dinner. That's okay. Because my background's Mauritian and your background's Indian. So can you imagine the curry morphing that we can do?
And the Sega music you guys have.
That's it. Fantastic. Hey, so much I want to talk to you about, and I haven't even got this on the running sheet, but it just occurred to me when I was reading out the bio. And I think everybody that is watching this show right now wants to know the story behind you singing for Stevie Wonder's daughter. Please tell us a little bit about that.
It's amazing. Today's Stevie, this week is Stevie Wonder's 70th birthday. So it's an incredible, he's an incredible man. He shaped so much of our musical landscape as R&B singers and musicians and any music. He's just an incredible musician. So I was going, about when I was 29 years old, I had made a record, and my friend said to me, I'll play your record to Stevie. And I said, that's lovely. Everyone says they'll do something. And my friend was nice enough to say that. So anyway, I appreciated it, but I didn't think it would happen, So then one day I got a call saying, Stevie likes your music. He wants to give you a deal or give you a song or write a song for you. And I said, what happened? He said, well, I took your record backstage. All the band were playing their demos to Stevie. And as they were playing the song, Stevie said, that's nice, that's nice. And my friend took my record and put it on CD player. And the band went silent. They played one, two, three or four songs. And 3 or 4 songs in, the band said to Stevie, is this your record? Is this your new album? And Stevie goes, no, it's a guy from Australia. And the band started laughing. Oh, Stevie Wonder rip-off, Stevie Wonder rip-off. And then Stevie goes, no, I want to just hear what this music is, because he said I can hear God's presence. Because when I write music or I live, I ask God to use me for his glory. So when Stevie does the same thing, he goes in the studio, he puts a chair for God, and he says, this is for God. I acknowledge God's presence because God is the creator. We're a reflection of God's glory. But if we're tapped into and acknowledging God all the way throughout our life and our career and our music, then his voice will speak, not our voice, because my voice is always going to be tainted with my own problems and my own, inadequacies. But his purity will come through if I ask him to use me. So he said, I hear God's presence. Let me do some stuff with him. So at that time, I went through a very difficult time in my life. I had a bad depression at 29. And my friend goes, hey, can you come over? I said, I really can't come over. I don't know. I can't get out of bed at the moment. I'm really feeling very, very tired and very drained. And he said, Stevie wants to know, can you play guitar? I said, I can play guitar well enough to write songs, but not great. You'll see later on, I got my guitar here. But so I virtually was closing it down, and I didn't speak to them for 5 months. So after the 5 months, I gave all my problems. I said, Jesus, I give you my heart, mind, body, soul, and will. I felt this peace come over my body, and this depression left me in a second. And I said to God, if you want this to happen, I think I've closed the door, but you make it happen. Lord, if you just ask Stevie back to happen. So that week, 2 or 3 days later, they call from LA and they go, can you come? It's Sophia's 16th birthday and Stevie wants you to sing for her. And I said, sure. So I jumped on a plane, went to LA that Friday and got to the party, and they were saying you had to dress white. Everyone had to dress in white. So I bought a tuxedo from, not tuxedo, a suit from Hugo Boss, and went there and sort of turned up blind, and I didn't realize that she had a favorite song of mine, which was called Dreamer, that I wrote with one of the guys from India RE's camp and my brother, Brad Pinto. And I didn't have the instrumental with me. So as they're saying, thank you so much for coming from Australia, Gary, I appreciate you coming. I felt very small. I leaned over and he's going to sing for you a song. And I said, oh my gosh, I haven't got the song in with me. So I leaned over to Stevie's wife and I said, can Stevie play piano for me? She goes, yeah, Stevie, can you play piano for him? He goes, yeah, what do you want to play? I said, a song for you, Donny Hathaway. And he goes, yeah, man, come on. So he played a song for you, and I sang with him. He sang harmonies, and he's a lovely man. He goes, I know all this stuff. And he started singing other songs from Donny, And
wow.
Just a beautiful man.
That is an amazing story. Hey, we do this thing on our show, which is kind of a musical challenge, where we ask our guests to participate, where I throw random songs at them and they sing a cappella throughout the. So, are you willing to participate?
Yes, I'm putting my headphones on so I can monitor myself. So I don't.
Hey, well, are you, and I, it's not on my list here, but are you able to sing us just a little bit of the song that you sang for Stevie?
Yes, okay. It's a song for you, which is Donny Hathaway's version of, I think it was written by Karen Carpenter, actually. And it's, I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs, I've made some bad rhymes, I've acted out my life in stages with 10,000 people watching, but we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. It's such a beautiful song.
Beautiful. Man, that is lovely. I would fly you all the way to Langwarrin to come and sing at my daughter's birthday.
Awesome, brother.
No worries. I'll send a plane, or I'll send a car. Okay. Hey, there are so many things that I do want to talk to you about, and I mean, let's stick with faith and music, because faith obviously plays a major part in your life, and music has been such a constant. And I guess the music industry has not always been an environment where religion is readily accepted, but I guess because you're a man of your convictions and you're such a gracious, and I've met you a couple of times at gigs and things. You're always so gracious and humble. How do you find being open about your religion and your faith? How's that accepted in the music industry?
I believe, I mean, musicians and creatives and anyone in the creative fields are connected to the creator. I mean, we're all connected to the creator, no matter what we do, even not creative fields. But those who are especially tapping into the ether of making a song or doing a solo or really living in the spur of the moment and being obedient to what's happening and being able to move in a certain way that is tapping into the creator's creative energy, understands that there is a force bigger than themselves at work. So whether I feel like my role in life is to be there to be used by God in whatever field he takes me. And I know that the artists that I work with, there's never any forcefulness on my behalf because they are children of God as much as I'm a child of God. I never have, everyone is at a different space in their life. But as long as I give my day to God, I say, God, use me for your glory, and you, in whatever way you deem fit, you speak through me. People will see his presence. And even Stevie, to say he felt the Spirit of God, I didn't tell them that I prayed every day or anything, but just that people can feel love, and God is love. That's all it is. So if we're loving, and same as you, brother, wherever you are, you're always gracious and humble and giving your love. That is a vision of God. So if we're reflecting that, people see God's goodness. It's not about us saying you have been told to, because God's not, there is definitely, God gives us stuff to be able to keep us in grace. But the most important thing is love, and his love conquers everything. And his love releases the bondages of, and in music, we are facing so much temptation and so much bondage and so much, a person who can create something on a guitar or a piano is lauded as being a, is said, oh, they're a superstar. So all these things get thrown at them, and you don't. Sometimes you're not aware of the things that are catching onto you that are not good for you. So when Jesus was living, he used to hang around with the tax collectors, the prostitutes. All of us are those people. We are the people that need God's love, and he never condemned. He always loved. So as much as I need his love, my friends need his love. We all need the love of God through not through judgment, but through mercy and compassion. That's how my life was saved, through divine mercy. That's how I got a new life. I gave myself to Jesus, and he goes, I'll take your sin, I'll take your pain, and I'll start you again. That's my life, and I know that that life is available for everyone.
Yep. No, that's a beautiful message, and I actually work with a 10-piece band, and I can say that they're all sinners, and I think I've been put in their life so that I can show them the light, because they are very, very, very off the road people. I'm joking, of course. I'm joking. Sorry, you're using your serious face there, and I'm dissing my band, saying that they're all sinners and tax collectors and things. But no, I should have.
Don't look at
Hey, after that beautiful that beautiful little monologue that you just gave me, I think for the musical challenge, I want to hear a bit of Amazing Grace. Can you give me a little Amazing Grace?
Oh, sure.
I'll just put my headphones on because I'll plug in the guitar. I should tune it up. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Beautiful.
Low.
It was low. It was a little, almost Elvis-like. That was beautiful, man. Hey, you're involved in so many TV shows. I mean, so you were with the X Factor. You've just done a stint on Dancing with the Stars as a featured artist with one of the other guests that we've had on the show, Hayley Teal. We love Hayley. Hi, Papa, out there.
What a great girl.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Coming up.
Sorry?
Hayley's 30th is coming up.
Yes, I did know that. So, yeah, we'll have to do something crazy for her.
Yes, she was the first artist, wasn't she?
Yes, she was at the first one on our show. She got us started. She was the champagne bottle on our boat, basically.
Incredible singer, a beautiful songwriter, and just a great-hearted girl.
Yeah, and of course she's making a lot of waves in LA. Obviously, hoping to get back there, but just doing a lot of great things. And so, we're rooting for her, and hopefully, we get that big, massive record deal, and then we'll get her back on the show again. Our ratings will go through the roof. Hey, but and so you're also working on The Voice as well now, and so I guess as a mentor to young singers. So tell us a little bit about that, and I can imagine just it's not just about vocal technique; it'd be about helping to guide them through what can be a fairly volatile journey.
It is. I think I try and impart any experience I've had over the past few years in music. So any of the pitfalls or the techniques, first on a musical level, to be able to give them techniques to navigate themselves through that 2.5 minutes of time that they're on air. So relaxing them, calming them. I say never step out or sing one note. Never start from a place of fear. If their anxiety raises up in you, pray, surrender it, let it sink down through your feet, and walk forward comfortably, walk forward in confidence, never in fear. Because if you're walking forward in fear or singing in fear, you'll do that, and then automatically it strangles and everything is heightened, and there's no placement, everything is not as it should be. But if you're coming at it from a place of relaxation and speaking the truth, rather than sort of thinking I have to sing a certain way, just speaking the notes into life, you're resonating with you're speaking into somebody, you're speaking to one person, you're not speaking to an audience of 1,000, because if you're trying to sing to 1,000 people in a room, your energy is dissipated to those 1,000, amongst those 1,000. Whereas if I'm speaking or singing into one person, you're whispering into someone's ear, and the intention and the emotion and everything that is so important about music is given to that person. So on that level of musicality, that I feel is a strong thing I try to impart on the singers. And the back end of that also is making them know that The Voice are incredible. The executive producer, Lee, and all the whole team make everybody feel comfortable and make sure that they know, hey, it's another day. You know what? It's just another day in your life. You're going to have 50,000 days in your life, and this is just another day. So just be at peace. If something great happens, amazing. If something great doesn't happen, you make a mistake, amazing. Don't hold it to think this is my one and only chance, because life moves and things change, and we're all in COVID. Who would have, we're all in the same boat.
Hey, we should make note that that little screaming, squealing in the background is not James Brown, right? It's your beautiful little daughter who's about 15 months old now, 16 months?
Yeah, 16 months. She's gorgeous, a joy. So she loves, she just loves anything musical. She's on TV. She watches all the songs from the Wiggles. She loves every song. She doesn't like the talking. As soon as the talking starts, she goes, ah! Or Go-Jetters or any of this stuff that has great anthems,
Yeah. Well, that's what we've discovered in our show. Why we've got the musical challenge is because our audience don't like me talking. They fast forward to the music bit, and that's why. In fact, hey, can you give me a little bit of "Let's Stay Together," Al Green?
Yes. I don't know how to play that, but
No, don't. No, just a cappella is beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, thanks for that.
I'm so in love with you, baby. Whatever you want to do is alright with me, 'cause you make me feel so brand new, and I want to spend my life with you, sugar. Baby, let's stay together now. loving you, whether times are good or bad, happy or sad, yeah.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. What a beautiful tone you have. You know what? I'm wearing my good shirt tonight, and I'm going to play that little snippet that you did to my wife before we go to bed tonight. And I'm thinking,
Thanks, bro.
thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, I do want to talk a little bit about the show that you did towards the end of last year, Sam Cooke tribute, right?
Yeah.
And is that still going now, or has that finished its sort of season?
It's still going. We were actually going to play at the Athenaeum Theatre in lockdown. So they're keen on doing more shows. It's such a great show. The music is so timeless. So Sam Cooke, still 50 years after his passing, still does $5 million worth of royalties every year because his songs are so timeless. Anyone who hears Sam Cooke melody will know it's him. There's no doubt. So even down to his first single he released as a solo artist away from the gospel music. So he was a gospel artist first, and then he said, I'm going to go commercial. He released it under a different name. He released it under Dale Cooke. But when people heard his voice and his melody, this band called him up and they go, we know that's your song, man. You're trying to dodge us. We know you're Dale Cooke. So he's unmistakably him. So in singing his material, it's been an incredible blessing. His daughter reached out from us, Carla Cooke from LA. His manager's children from back in the day, Jess Rand, his manager, his daughter reached out just to say thank you. We're enjoying the updates. We got to play at the Opera House and the Art Centre. His music got played at the Opera House. He never got the chance to play at the Opera House. So we feel very grateful to play such a wonderful musician's songs. And his life came full circle from gospel music down to A Change Is Gonna Come. His last song was about the liberation of people. So I feel very blessed to be able to play somebody's music who was so impactful at the time of his life.
Yeah. So our audience should really look out for, because I've seen the online stuff that you've done. It's just fantastic. And yeah, I mean, he was the godfather of soul from the sort of 50s and 60s, and so many artists, came after him that copied that style, and that tone, of course, was everything. I need to ask you, because my kids are budding musos. So if you had to choose, okay, you can only choose one, technique or feeling?
Wow. It'd have to be feeling. It would have to be.
Yeah. Tone or runs?
Tone.
Yep. Good. I've been telling my kids the right thing then.
Because, technique and tone, technique and runs without any tone or feeling is pointless.
Yeah.
And then you look at singers like, Donny Hathaway had both. Stevie Wonder has both. Guy Sebastian has both. Like, singers that are phenomenal have the both down. Hayley Teal has both. Like, absolutely. Nina Ferro, Andrew De Silva, this amazing singers. DeAndre. Have you heard DeAndre?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. He has everything. When I put Guy Sebastian onto DeAndre, I said, look at this. And his jaw hit the ground. He goes, who is this? I said, he was living in Australia. He's a monster. He's such a good, yeah.
Yeah. No, look, I totally agree. What I love about your voice is such a rich tone. And, to me, that's what I always gravitate to first. Obviously, all those other things are important, and I don't dismiss technique or runs or anything. But for me, I always gravitate to tone first and feeling, as you said. So what's your favourite Sam Cooke tune?
My favourite was All of My Life, because that was my wedding song. So I waited. The lyric is, all of my life I waited for you. I dreamed and dreamed and thought and schemed for someone like you. And that was my wife, Natasha. So Guy sang this wedding waltz at our wedding.
Can you sing it for us a little now? Just a little?
All of my life, yes, all of my life I've waited for you, joyous singing. I dreamed and dreamed and thought and schemed for someone like you. It's just a beautiful song,
Beautiful. Enjoy singing harmonies in the background.
And I later found out that it's actually a song by Nat King Cole. that Sam Cooke covered.
Wow, there you go. There you go. Yeah, a big fan of Nat King Cole as well. I mean, talk about rich, beautiful tone. That's the master right there.
And the thing is that these masters, that they what they do is they speak lyrics into life. They're speaking in tune, and if there's a need for a run, they'll give it a run, but they're obedient to the moment in speaking the truth of the song. So years ago, Natasha and I were in New York, and this producer called Rob Fazari, who discovered Gaga, he made the first 3 records for her. Natasha was recording with him, and a monster, one of the best producers in the history of pop music. I think he wrote Bootylicious, he wrote all this stuff. He's amazing. Wow. And he was in the studio with Natasha, and he and his co-writer were saying to Natasha, as they're recording one of the songs, he goes, "Speak to me." And Natasha's singing, great singer, my wife is, and he goes, "Speak to me." And Natasha's singing again. He stops the tape and he goes, "I need you to speak to me." And she goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Just speak in tune. Don't give me anything pretty. Just speak in tune." And it took her about half an hour or whatever it was. And then she just went, "Oh, la mala." She spoke to him, and he goes, "That's it." And from that point onwards, they recorded 9 or 10 songs together. He goes, "I can hear you. You're speaking to me. I'm not hearing you do all the frilly things. And you know what? I don't want to hear Mariah Carey. I don't want to hear anybody else. I want to hear your heart. And if you're speaking in tune, that's all I want."
Yeah.
So that was the breakthrough for Natasha. In her musical understanding was, all I have to do is tell them who I am.
Yep. No, and I can see why you get so much work as a mentor, because you bring that level of depth to I guess the journey for those young singers, and that's really, really invaluable, all of that stuff. So kudos to you, and may the rivers of money flow for you forever, my friend. Hey, tell us a little bit. I know that you've done some collabs and you've done a lot of online stuff, and one of them just recently, in fact, it was last Saturday, was the Caritas Walk With Me. Tell me a little bit about that, because that was fantastic, and you enlisted a lot of other artists to come on and support as well.
Yes, thank you, brother. Well, Caritas is an organisation that I've loved from childhood. I used to go to church and I'd see this little box saying Project Compassion, and I've got one here somewhere. And on this box, you would get this thing, and it'd have a slot for money, to coins. You put in these coins or any notes you could, and at the end of the Lent, you would give it back to the church or to the school, and they would give it to the poor. And I was on the street in Sydney doing a Sam Cooke show, and this lady saw me with a guitar on my back, and she tapped me on the shoulder, and she goes, "Are you Father Rob Galea, a friend of mine who's a priest?" I said, "No, he's a late great man." I said, "No, I'm not him, but I'm a musician." She goes, "Oh, I said, I write with him music." And she goes, "I'm from Caritas." She started 2 days before this, Caritas. She goes, "I'm from Caritas." I said, "Oh, I love Caritas. Can I offer my services? Anything you need. I'd love to write songs for you or do anything, because I know what you do." And you do. They go out to the furthermost, remotest places in the world, and they go to places where charities don't go. And they'll because it could be more too expensive or too logistically difficult, but they'll go to these places and help the disabled or help communities that have no funding from the government or anything, and they'll go in there and find out the strengths of that community, accentuate those strengths, and find locals that can be able to take on that work and work with the community and walk with them. So I said to her, "Can I write a song?" She wrote back, "Please write a song." I spoke to her, Sue Lomi, this lady, wrote this song called Walk With Me. And then a few weeks later, the COVID-19 crisis happened, and they said, I said, "How is it going? How's Caritas going with everything?" They said, "Well, our project has all but stopped with not being able to reach the funds that we need to get to Papua New Guinea and all the places that are in desperate need, and some of these places are in danger of descending into violence." Wow. So I saw a friend of mine, Luke Kennedy, and the Little Red Company, and Naomi Price in Queensland do this podcast. That they did it from their lounge room for musicians struggling through the COVID-19 crisis. And they raised $55,000 from their lounge room, wow. Week one, or $57,000. I said to the lady, "My friends are doing this thing. I think I can do something similar from our lounge room for Caritas. Let's see what we can do." So I just put out a call. I wrote to Diesel and to Mahalia Barnes and to Guy and to Reese Maston and to Amalia Foy and Natasha and Emma Pask and Dave Tweedy and all of our friends. Adams, all these guys, James Sandon, Adam Ventura, the best, Shannon Stitt, Declan Kelly, Isaac Moran. I can't not say anyone's name because there's so many. And as they all wrote back, "Yes, what do you need? Send me what you need." Carmen Smith, You know, like the best, Prinny Stevens. So they all sent me a song from their lounge room. Just beautiful, Matt Gresham. And as I got these songs, the people at Caritas were like, "Are you joking? Who did you get?" I said, "Diesel's playing in his studio, like wailing, killing, like only he can." You forget how good. I mean, these are all. I've been blessed to call them friends. And even when I introduce Joy to my friends, I think man, when you're older, you will not understand who you've met in this.
Hey, Gary, ask me about my Johnny Diesel joke.
Oh, please.
So ask me, where does Johnny Diesel live?
Where does Johnny Diesel live?
Well, he lives in a small country town, right? But not in the middle of the town. He lives right on the top of Meetung.
Ooh!
I used that one in our last earlier show, but I just had to do it again because I'm sure we've got a new audience again. But anyway, I've digressed. I've interrupted your flow for a terrible joke, but that's kind of what we do here on Live from the Lockdown Lounge.
I better be going. No. That's very better jokes than mine. No, amazing. But he was so kind. So all of those guys and every artist just gave it their time. Ben Rogers just gave it their time so beautifully. And Caritas interlinked and interweaved the stories of the people that they help in these communities. And, you know, they're collecting the money now to be able to give to these communities. And we really appreciate it. Everyone listening and everyone that came forward. The musical community is so generous with their time and their gifts, you know.
They are. And it's ironic, isn't it, that the musical or the entertainment community has been impacted the most by this. And really the government is still being a little slow to react in terms of, you know, funding artists that are out of work. And because, you know, we've said this many times before, they don't actually fall into a neat little pigeonhole of, money that's come in over a period of time. And so they're sort of falling between the cracks there. So I guess, we encourage our audience to lobby and to sort of make sure that we shine a light on the entertainment industry because there's a lot of artists that are really struggling out there.
There's one guy actually from Burke, his name's Tony Burke. He is actually championing for the industry. And Jane and Jimmy Barnes are always putting up posts about him. He's an incredible fella for the arts. He just keeps saying exactly what you're saying. He spoke in Parliament.
Yeah. I saw him. Parliament sat, I think, only 2 days ago, and I saw him do exactly the same thing again, saying, "Hey, the entertainment industry is still not being looked after. You need to shine a light here." So yeah, it's
And what you're doing is great too, brother. Like what you're doing and bringing awareness to this and Support Act also Australian Support Act is unbelievable the way that they help musicians that are going through difficulties, and they're always, APRA, AMCOS, they're giving royalties early. They're really on the ball, Millie from APRA, great people, really great people.
Yep, no, it's great. Hey, we've come to the first song, the actual first full song now. So we've chatted away. You've endured my jokes and all of the, you've been so gracious. Now tell us about the first song that you're going to do for us tonight and why you chose this song. I believe it's an original.
Yeah, so this is a song that I wrote with my brother Brad and with Diesel and a friend of mine in LA, Dave Darling. He was my producer. It's one of my favourite songs that we wrote. It never got cut, so we never released it. And it's about a friend of mine, her life. It's called By the Time. And it's very, it's the life that she had when her father had left and the reconciliation that, she longed for so many years.
Fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Gary Pinto, By the Time. Take it away, Gary.
Thank you, brother. By the time she was away, he was gone without a trace. But she didn't cry for him. Yesterday is dead and gone. Will tomorrow bring him home? Holding on to hope within. Saturday, she's still alive as she rides against the tide, stemmed emotion bottled in. As she builds another wall, she insulates against the fall, tries to comprehend the pain. By the time you awake, I'll be gone again, be back someday. Child, understand that I love you. So I'll write you today, just to let you know I couldn't stay. There are some things I have to do. In her love she hesitates. Behind these walls there are no gates. She don't want to lose again. And in prayer she remonstrates. With her Jesus she debates forgiveness or begrudge the sin. Though she doesn't see what she holds against him, but she understands she must forgive. But she don't know where to start. She looks at the crimes against her and remembers these words off by heart. By the time you awake, I'll be gone again, be back someday. Child, understand that I love you. So I'll write you today, just to let you know I couldn't stay. There are some things I have to do. By the time she was awake, he was gone without a trace. She don't see it, but somehow she's strong. As she contemplates the lines she has written over time, in her letter she replied, all the time you were away, when I needed you, you didn't stay. Why does it need to be this way? For so long I did pray, in the hope that you'd be back someday. I need to say that I forgive. All the time you were away, I prayed for you every single day. Please understand that I love you. Yesterday's been and gone, but tomorrow brings another dawn. Now what matters is how the story ends. Thank you.
Amazing. What a beautiful, beautiful song. And so that hasn't been released, is that right?
No, so there's so many songs, brother, that I wrote with some beautiful songwriters, with Diesel, with Brad, with Dave Darling, that have just sat in archives, you know. And I had a record that was about to be released with Sony with some of those songs on it, and it got shelved for a while, and then Dennis Hanlon kindly gave me the record back, so I own the record. But in the meanwhile, I went back to New York and LA and wrote so many songs that I never released. So I think it's, you know, I really need to get these songs just out.
Yeah. So is that an exclusive to Live from the Lockdown Lounge?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I haven't played it in years, so it's never been released. So definitely, this is a.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. No, look, hey, we could do a show every week of all the tunes that haven't been released.
So many of our friends, you know, so many of our, like Darren Percival, Emma Pax, Mahalia Barnes, Prinny Stevens, even my brother Brad Pinto, Carmen Smith, so many of them have material that is so great. And even Guy has so much stuff that's in his archives, Chris Sebastian, that they never release and never see the light of day. So I've seen Andrew De Silva recently just put out 35 songs. He just goes, it's been in my catalogue, I'm throwing it out. Carmen just released a bunch of stuff. So I think it's a good time, you know, this time to just get our stuff out. And
yeah, and I think there's a real appreciation for the arts and in particular musicians at the moment, and I think people are really consuming that material, obviously because they're in lockdown, but I think they've got a new appreciation and awareness for it. So yeah, it is a good time to just put it all out there.
And there's only so much Netflix you can watch, really.
Yes, yeah. I finished Netflix. I finished it. Yep. Hey, you know, we're very proud of the fact that we are supporting the music industry with our little show, and an organisation that's supporting us and supporting the music industry is Cranbourne Music, and they have been wonderful. And they've got a special promotion going on. It's called the Taylor Day special event, and it's been extended to the end of May. So basically, you buy a Taylor guitar and you get another one for just $149.
What?
Crazy. All this graphics is coming up on the screen right now. So there's two amazing offers, and if you jump on the Cranbourne Music website, you'll see it. So now through the end of May at Cranbourne Music, get an acoustic GS Mini, Academy Series or Baby Taylor for just $149 with the purchase of select Taylor models. Choose from the two exceptional offers on the website. So ladies and gentlemen, buy a Taylor, add another Taylor for just $149. Cranbourne Music, looking after the musician of today and tomorrow.
Amazing. That's an incredible deal. My goodness.
It is.
Oh, beautiful.
Hey, we have a lot of ridiculous segments on this show that you've agreed so graciously to participate in. Thank you so much. And this one is called Back When I Thought I Was Cool. And we asked our guests to send in some images of themselves back when they thought they were cool. Like we said earlier, you actually were cool all the way. But so we've got two images from you. And but before we run those images, we have to run a sting, because every good segment has to have a sting. Back when I thought I was cool, run the sting.
Ooh, how you like me now? How you like me now? Ooh. Back when I thought I was cool.
Yes, and just so you know, Gary, that sexy voiceover voice is me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all me. So let's talk about the first image, and we'll build it up a bit here. So the first image is you with CDB, and you're on a roof.
Yes. Isolation.
Isolation roof. There you are with the boys, and you're lying there fully clothed, sunbaking, and tell us about that shot. You thought you were cool, and you actually were cool.
No, I thought I was cooler than I was, I think. We were sitting on at the time we were from the neighborhood, so it was a Noble Park rooftop, and they wanted to show the sort of the area of Noble Park and where we grew up. So our manager said, get on the roof and take a photo for the local magazine, you know. So it was for the Daily Leader or something, the Noble Park Leader. So we all got on our roof in our sunglasses and our big 26 red costumes, and we were so comfortable up there. I don't know how we were comfortable. I was lying down with my hand behind my head, but you know, years later, I thought, you know, roofs are not that bad to sort of stand on. And no, years earlier, actually, I had put a soccer ball on the roof when I was young. And I got on the roof and I said to my brother, okay, chuck a trampoline down at the bottom there, and I'll jump from the roof onto the trampoline, and I'll jump onto the ground and we'll be fine. And Brad goes, no, you can't jump off the roof.
So you didn't do that?
I did.
You did?
I did, and I nearly concussed myself. So roofs and I have a good history.
Wow, that's a crazy story, man. And okay, so now we've got a second picture, and again, you know, different hairstyle. And this is from one of your video clips. And here you are coming out of an elevator with the guns blazing. Look at those guns. Tell us about that.
The T-shirt was too tight. I was pushing my arms out to the side. So that was my first single from my first solo album called What the Day Brings. And I was in the gym permanently, and I had an A&R guy, really dear friend of mine, Michael Hegarty, who's a champion. He would say, no orange soda. So, I was just on the diet of protein and gym for like 5 or 6 months when I was recording the album. So by that time I was just, you know, popping out of my top.
Yeah. Well, it shows, man. So it definitely worked out for you. So look, you back when you thought you were cool, you were actually cool, which means you've basically ruined the segment, because we want to embarrass you, not, you know, show great pictures. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was Back When I Thought It Was Cool. Run the sting.
Ooh, how you like me now? How you like me now? Ooh. Back when I thought I was cool.
There you go. Every good segment needs a sting. So, hey, Hey, Gary, how about She's Leaving Home, the Beatles? Can you throw a little bit of that for me?
Such a good song. Again, I don't know how to play it, but
That's right. A cappella is beautiful.
so, Wednesday morning at 5:00 as the day begins. Quietly closing the bedroom door, leaving a note that she hoped would say more. She goes downstairs to the kitchen, clutching a handkerchief. Quietly turning the back door key. Stepping outside, she's free. We gave her most of our lives, is leaving sacrifice most of our lives. Oh, we gave her everything, mighty good. She's leaving home after living alone for so many years. Such a good song, man. The Beatles, brother. The best melodic structures and movements, and that cello line that runs through is unbelievable.
Yeah. Look, I watched what was it, Hard Day's Night, the Beatles documentary only recently, and just they ended up, they just wanted to be a studio band in the end. They because playing live they couldn't hear each other, and it just they were heart musicians. They just wanted to perform or to create music, and playing live, I guess if they were around nowadays, it would have been a lot different experience with all the production values that we have.
Well, they innovated it, didn't it? Isn't it? Sir George Martin just took a 4-track or whatever they were recording on at the time and just made it a monster. So, and Abbey Road, the revolutionary techniques that they employed still today are used by musicians and engineers. There's a book that thick, I think, about the actual, plugins, the way that they plug their desks in, and the mics they use, and the filters everything.
Yeah, so intricate and beautiful. Hey, COVID-19 is basically what's brought us to this place at the moment, why we're all in lockdown. So we always chat a little bit. We like to call it the deep chat or the serious chat, but, it doesn't need to be too deep. But we start off by talking about gig cancellations. And I guess for an artist like you who's touring with Guy and others, there's that would have been booked in, months and months in advance. Tell us about when you first, realized that, this was going to impact, for the next 6 months, and what your emotions were at the time.
So we were doing Dancing with the Stars. We were about a 7th week in, and the lockdown started to happen, I think 6th or 7th week. And the producers, we were thinking, this is not going to happen next week. We're going to go home. And the executive producer got us all together, Karen Green, and she says, we are pushing through. We've taken social distancing procedures. We've got everything sorted logistically by the government. We're taking everyone's temperatures. We are pushing through and doing the best we can to finish the show. We've gone such a long way. Let's do it. So we were really happy that we were going to finish the show just as lockdown was starting. Yeah. So we got to week 9. There were 10 weeks planned, and they moved 10th week into week 9, which was amazing. At the start of the season, they said to invoice. So we're invoicing the invoices in, and they said there could be a little bit of a wait for your invoices. So, at the start, we thought, we're not getting paid for a little while. The payment came in at the end of the 9 weeks. So for us that were on the show, it was incredible, because it was just a blessing to be able to receive all the money that we were working for the past 8 weeks at the time we needed it most.
Yeah.
So it worked to be a blessing for Hayley Teal, for myself, Nina Farrow, Andrew De Silva, all the band. We always know, all of us, God is good, and everybody, we've been all of our friends we keep a watch out for with their finances, and hoping and checking in on people to make sure that everybody's okay. So we were in the cancellation of work, we missed Blues Fest. The week after Dancing with the Stars, guys gig at Blues Fest got cancelled. Guy ended up saying to his whole band, I'll give you a fee, even if we're not doing it. And I asked his manager, I said, is he getting paid? Is he getting paid a fee? She goes, no, he's not. So he's a, just those people are just kind. So he did that, and then, sporadically a little bit of work came in for Natasha. I was doing a little bit of things here and there, and all this sort of money came in from different angles. So all of our gigs were cancelled, but we were provided for. So we, very blessed. And even the JobKeeper thing just came in for us last week. So it's just, for me as a father for the 16-month-old, it was a hidden silver lining, I could spend time with Joy that I would never have had prior to be able to do, and this time will never be coming again for us. So to be in each other's pockets for 24 hours a day for 6 weeks has been amazing.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Because musicians are notoriously busy and, not staying in the same place for too long and always moving, always planning, because you do have to hustle hard for the next 6 months because you don't know when the paycheck's coming in. But when this type of situation is forced upon you, you do actually kind of appreciate, provided you're able to financially cope, but you do appreciate just the time at home with the family, don't you?
We have, yeah, definitely. And I think you're right. That overhanging plane trip or session or something is always, for me, and like yourself, we have a number of things we do. There's 4 or 5 different elements, whether it be one's a tour, one's a TV show, one's a recording, one's a sessions writing. They're all here. They're all occupying some space of the brain and heart. To have that all gone has been an unbelievable revelation, and a liberation in a way. I wake up in the morning and I say, I don't feel like, I look at the calendar, I say, there's a couple of things I need to do, but not pressingly urgent, which has been quite amazing.
Yeah, that's really good. Hey, and so you talked a little bit earlier about your mental health struggles back, I think, when in your 20s, and but obviously, you're well and truly over that, and you've you through your faith, you've been able to overcome those challenges. How have you found other musos and people within your network that have been coping with, this sort of confronting situation from a mental health point of view?
Definitely. I found the same situation. I tell them what happened to me. Friends of mine who have struggled with depression, I said, when I gave my weight over to Christ, I said, Jesus, I give you my heart, mind, body, soul, and will. Everything that I was carrying, I gave it to him. And he said, I died for that. I carry that. I come unto me, all ye that labor, and I will give you rest. Take the rest. So my friends that I've told about this, hand it over to Jesus, hand yourself over so he can take it over and wipe your slate clean and start you again. Some of my friends have done it, and they've said, I feel liberated. I feel like somebody's taking care of me, because he is. No matter what we've done, or no matter who we are, or no matter how far we think we are from God, we're his children, and he's never far away from us. So he just longs for us to go, Jesus, I give it to you. He wants to take the weight because he's already died for it. So that's what I say to my friends who are struggling with depression. You give it to him because he loves you, and he will just go, bang, no problem. I love you. Let's go. Let's have a fun time. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's never about, you've done this, so I don't think I'm going to take that off you. He says, no, I died with my arms open. I died to give you a hug. I didn't die to condemn you. So let's just take it. Just take it. He's the most encouraging God.
Yeah. And so have many, I'm really fascinated by this. So have many of your friends that haven't been exposed to religion or faith before, have they sort of embraced that message and then taken it on board and gone on a different path as a result?
Absolutely. Recently, even a friend of mine asked for my Bible. He goes, can I have a Bible? And he's never grown up with the faith. So really amazing things, because God is their father, and all I'm doing is reminding them that he loves them. That's it. So their relationship with him is their own relationship, and it's an incredible relationship, and he created them in the palm of his hand to have the best life possible. But because we hold on to stuff as our human, and we think we condemn ourselves, we're not condemned, but we condemn ourselves because we think, I am such a worthless thing because I've done this and I've hurt this. But God says, let me sort it out. Don't think you have to carry it. So friends of mine who are atheists, whenever I say, just ask Jesus. and he's alive. And they asked him, and miracles happen. Yeah, it's amazing. Everything in my life has been a miracle because I'm actually pretty slow on the uptake with stuff. I'm slow to get the message throughout my life. So I'll get to a point where I'm like, oh, help. And it's like, bang, this help comes. I'm like, okay. Because I should have learned along the way, but I never learned,
Yeah. Well, look, like I said earlier, you're a man of conviction, and you carry that joy. Whether people know your background or your faith or your religion, anyone that meets you can see a certain light and a certain joy about you, and I think that's really important because you live what you preach, and I think that's the important thing.
Well, I mean, he's so good, and there's faults in me. Every day I wake up with faults.
I haven't seen one fault. Stick
around. But he's so kind and merciful and good that I just can't help but, it's just going again to the power source and going, help me, Lord, give me the strength and guide me in the way that you want. And, I'll keep on making mistakes throughout my life, but he will take care of my life and the lives of those who just turn to him. Anyone who turns to him will be given his life, which is in love.
Beautiful. Love is everything. Hey, and what we also do on this show is we ask our guests to nominate a charity, all in the name of love, because we're here to support the industry and to support everyone and everything we can with our humble little show. And each one of our guests' interviews is stored on our website, lockdownlounge.live, and as will this interview, and a little hyperlink underneath. And so tell us about the where you would like any contributions to go, what charity you'd like to nominate.
Thank you, brother. Caritas Australia would be the www.caritas.org.au. They just do incredible work with the poorest of the poor around the world, and they are about walking with the poor to restore their dignity. So if you can support Caritas, that would be amazing.
Fantastic, and that web address will be coming up on the screen now. So, hey, we're up to the second song, Gary. So, tell us what you're going to do. I believe it's a little bit of Mr. Terence Trent D'Arby that you've got in store for us. I'm a big fan. So, tell us a little bit about this song and why you've chosen it.
He's just one of the best musicians of our time, I think, as a soul singer and songwriter. He wrote some incredible stuff, and he was fearless and he was relentless in his pursuit of the truth. So this one is called Would You Let Me Know, of his record that he released around 1998, and it was sort of under the radar, this song, but I know a bunch of our city musicians, Mahalia Barnes, and know this track. It's so good.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gary Pinto. Terence Trent D'Arby, Would You Let Me Know?
One day in the spring, a question fell and went straight through you. The bleeding angels sing when close to tears. I need the answer. So if you go before me, would you let me know? If you go before me, would you let me know? One day in the air, a bullet screamed and went straight through you. And I saw the sun begin to bleed above a flood of tears and sirens, and our spirits colorblind. So if you go before me, so if you go before me, so if you go before me, would you
Amazing. What better way to spend your Saturday night with me in my good shirt, my freshly shaved head, and the beautiful silky vocals of Mr. Gary Pinto. So beautiful, Gary. Well done.
Thank you, brother.
Ah, so good. I feel awkward going into our next segment, Gig Chicken. No, that's what it says on the run sheet. So we're going to do it. So this segment, Mr. Pinto, is basically based on every gig a musician does. You always fed chicken. Am I right? Am I right? So
absolutely. Now I understand what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Now you. So your corporate band, cover band, no matter what, you always get chicken, fried chicken, boiled chicken, stuffed chicken, rough chicken. Any other chickens you can think of?
Chicken or fish? Chicken.
And again, with any good segment, you need a good sting. So we're going to play the sting. Play the Gig Chicken sting. Yes, and all the buck sounds that you're hearing there are from our good friend T&J and the harmony. So I want you to harmonise with me on this line, Gary. Gig Chicken. Can you do that on 1, 2? Yep. 1, 2, 3. Gig Chicken. Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, right? And if you get these answers correct, we will mail you some gig chicken that will arrive between 4 and 72 working days. Okay, which you can do whatever you like with. You can eat it. You can take it for a walk and hang it as art. All pending you get these answers correct. Okay. Correct because they're all excuses. So. Are you ready to play Gig?
Absolutely, brother.
Good man. Okay. So, question number 1. Best gig you ever played?
I mean, there's been so many wonderful gigs. I think I'll say the best gig I've ever played was at Bennett's Lane with Sam Keevers and Scott Tinkler. Beautiful. To a crowd of maybe 100 people. It's just incredible. There's a lady at Bennett's Lane named Meg who comes to before the gig. She'll say, "Can everybody please make sure their phones are off and no speaking during the gig," in this most beautiful, delicate voice, and you can hear a pin drop. And you can just when Scott Tinkler's playing his solo on his trumpet, and Sam Keevers is playing on the keys, and Danny Fisher was on drums. You're in heaven. Amazing.
Wow. And is that because of just the mood of the venue, or because you were doing originals? What made it extra special?
I think that the musicians I get to play with are best in the world. In Guy's band, in Jimmy's band, in anyone's band. That night, they were just on fire. And there's never been a gig when I've been with Sam Keevers that he's not on fire. So he just moves in ways that make me shake my head. I just can't. I've just elevated away from anything. He's just incredible. And the whole band plays. Roddy Aravena, yeah. Okay,
this is a good one. Weirdest gig you've ever played?
Oh, man, okay. So there would be, we had a week out from, it was one of the big RSL clubs in Sydney. I don't know whether it was Panthers. Yeah. And I think it's, a 1,000-seater gig. And we had like maybe 5 or 6 days out. We weren't gigging. CDB weren't gigging at this venue. And we just get this call saying, "Hey, can you fill in for a band at Panthers?" It's a massive room. So we ended up going and doing this gig at Panthers. No one was there, like no one. And the funny thing was the first song finished and Danny Williams, the guy in CDB, did his last dance move, turned around and goes, "Oh, shit." And then the whole room went, "Oh, shit. Oh, shit." So that was the weirdest gig.
Hey, I should just hear a little bit of Let's Groove from CDB. I'm going to throw that one at you right now. Can you give me a little bit of Let's Groove?
We can boogie down, down, get home, down, can boogie down, down.
Let's groove tonight. Ba-ba, share the spice of life. Ba-da, baby, slice it right. Da-da, ba-da, ba-ba, gonna groove tonight. Ba-da, let us groove, get you to move. It's alright, alright, alright. Let us groove. So stand up, all right.
Beautiful, beautiful. Man, that falsetto is working overtime there. Still hit every one of those notes pure.
Thank you.
Hey, okay, you're leading Gig Chicken at this stage, so you're in the running to get your chicken in the mail. Last time you were nervous?
Oh my gosh. Last time I was nervous. For a gig, I can't remember the last time I was nervous for a gig because we've been busy. Oh, you know what? Dancing with the Stars. Yep. Just as about to go to air, and they're like, okay, you're live in 3, and you're like, because on Dancing with the on that show, the dancers need you to phrase exactly how the demo was phrased, because if you phrase slightly different, they'll miss their cue point. Right. So there was one of the songs that was given was phrased by the singer on Dancing with the Stars in America, but it was phrased out of time. Like the guy has sung it freeform without any sort of pocket or anything. So I sang it normally. It was a Nat King Cole song, Unforgettable. I sang it in the groove for rehearsal. And the dancer actually said, please sing it as it was on the television show. I said to Dorian, I said to the MD, I said, brother, there's no pocket in this. There's absolutely no groove that the guy sung it with. He said, but the dancer wants it like that. I said, okay. And I had to learn that song without a pocket. So that was the time I was like...
Yeah. Learning to sing out of time is a very difficult thing to do. Hey, can you give us a few bars of Unforgettable, Nat King Cole?
Sure.
Unforgettable, and that's what you are. Unforgettable, though near or far. Like the sound of love that clings to me, how the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more. And it goes on and on and on. Yeah.
So beautiful. What a tone. What a tone. Hey, I'm tipping, so a lot of the artists that we've had have been working in the sort of cover band circuit. And this question, we've got a very similar answer to. I'm tipping that yours is going to be a little different, but we've got a supplementary question just in case. So number 4 is most requested song.
Most requested song for me is Let's Groove, definitely. Yeah, in both settings. In Guy's band it would be Let's Stay Together, but on CDB it'll be Let's Groove. Always the Let's. Any song with Let's in it.
Yeah.
Let's dance.
Yeah. And what's your supplementary question? What's your favourite song to sing?
It would be either She's Leaving Home or Dream a Little Dream, or any of the songs that intricately move through melodies that are just beautiful. They evoke an emotion, you know?
Yep.
Incredible.
All right. Well, we've heard She's Leaving Home, so how about a little bit of Dream a Little Dream?
Sure.
As stars shining right above you, night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree, dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be, dream a little dream of me.
It's amazing. Isn't that melody just ridiculous?
Oh, well, made more amazing when you sing it, I must say. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful song. All right, question 5, and this is for the Gig Chicken. So I know that you don't normally get nervous. I'm anticipating you getting a little nervous here because there is chicken riding on this answer. Now you've met a few famous people, but the most famous person that you've met or performed for?
Stevie Wonder. It would be that. Definitely.
Stevie Wonder, yeah. Yeah, hands down.
Yeah, amazing. And I got to sing for Smokey Robinson at his house at a prayer meeting. My ex-girlfriend was a pastor in America, and she said, can you sing at Smokey's prayer meeting? I said, yes. I said, when is it? She goes, June 9th. I said, I'm leaving back to Australia on June 10th. So I went to the meeting and I sang, and this is how stupid I am. Greg Fillinganes came up to me and he goes, here's my card. Greg Fillinganes wrote a lot of stuff for Michael Jackson, and he goes, here's my card. I'm giving you my card. And I said, oh, thank you. And he goes, I'm giving you my card. I said, thank you. That's lovely. He goes, do you understand that I don't give my card to anybody? I'm giving you my card. I want you to work. Oh, you sound like Donny Hathaway. I want to work with you. I said, thank you. That's lovely. And I was young, 24, whatever it was. I said, I'm going back to Australia tomorrow. Not so stupid. I should have just gone, you know what? I won't go back to Australia. Let's start working tomorrow. He wanted to work.
Oh, my God.
Then I lost his card, as I do. But that's my life. I've done that 50 times. So, but it's all part of it. But beautiful. They were lovely. Smokey Robinson was lovely. And he sang Jesus Loves Me in his lounge room. And I sang a Donny Hathaway song. And it was lovely. The person that was there actually was Judge Reinhold, who was the close talker from Seinfeld.
Yes.
It was all the Hollywood people who are Christian. They all got together at Smokey's house once a month to talk about how they could show their faith through their music and through the media.
Right. I didn't know Judge Reinhold was Christian.
Yeah.
And he was also in what was it? Beverly Hills Cop as well.
Amazing.
Yeah. Great movie. Well, I'm very glad to say that you have won Gig Chicken, Gary Pinto. So within 4 to 72 working days, chicken will be arriving at your door to do with what you will. And as part of the early celebrations, we get to hear the sting one more time. Roll the sting. Yeah. Okay, on the count of 3, Gig Chicken. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Gig Chicken! Gary, you have been an amazing guest. So I want you to hang around a little bit because we want a final message from you before we go. How about before we go to this next little segment, a little bit of Every Little Step from Bobby Brown, one of my favorite artists. Can you give me a little bit of Bobby?
Yeah, I can't sleep at night. I toss and turn, listening for the telephone. But when I get your call, I'm all choked up. Can't believe you called my home. And as a matter of fact, it blows my mind you would even talk to me. Because a girl like you is like a dream come true, a real life fantasy. No matter what your friends try to tell you, we can be fall in love, and we can be together any kind of weather. It's like that, every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make, we'll be together. Every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make, we'll be together, yeah.
Oh, so good. So good. So good. All right. So, as I said, you have been a wonderful, gracious guest and willing to, jump on board all of our ridiculous segments. So thank you very much. Now, every show we close with a segment called Coping with Lockdown, and we play a funny video of how people all around the world are coping with lockdown. And here we've got a couple that have kind of created a horse riding kind of vibe. You got to see it to believe it, what they've done. Roll the video. There you go. So couple looking like they're horse riding and in their lounge room. Oh, people doing crazy things to just pass the time away. Hey, Gary, we always ask our guests to leave us with one final message to the audience, and that can be any message you want it to be, a message of hope, message of how to cope with lockdown, message of how to come out of this and, I guess reassess values and priorities, whatever you like. The screen is yours, my friend.
Thank you, brother. I just want, my message would be that you're loved, you're treasured, no matter what the fear or anxiety or anything that you've felt in this time, or even if you haven't felt that, you are very much cared for by your Creator, and anything you need in life, God is there standing beside you, so you're never away from Him, and He is never away from you. He stands right beside you, ready to embrace you. So know that you are treasured, and just surrender. If you have anything that weighs you down, give it to Jesus, and He will, even if you don't know Him, just ask, are you real, Jesus? He will show Himself to you, and it's a great blessing to know somebody loves you no matter what you've done or what you can do in your life. You are always loved.
Well, man, I love you no matter what. So there you go.
Thank you so much, man.
Hey, you know what? I think fitting to with our music challenge, and thank you again for being such a good sport with the musical challenge. We've been very lucky with our guests that have been willing to do this, because I guess it's pretty hard if I'm just throwing songs randomly at you, because I do research in your back catalogue, and you may not have sung these songs for years and years, and you've been so willing, but I reckon you cannot. This is one of my favourite songs of all time, and it's Boys to Men, End of the Road. And I think we're coming to the end of the song or end of the show. Would be great if, and you know, feel free to go as long as you want with this one.
Oh, it's a beauty. Then I'll go a little bit lower. We belong together, dum, 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 and you know that I'm right. Why do you play with my heart? Why do you play with my mind? Said we'd be forever, dum dum dum. Said it never die. How could you love me and leave me and never say goodbye? Well, I can't sleep at night without holding you tight. Girl, each time I try, I just break down and cry. Pain in my head, oh, I'd rather be dead. Spinning around and around, although we've come to the end of the road, still I can't let go. It's unnatural. You belong to me, I belong to you. Come to the end of the road, still I can't let go. It's unnatural. You belong to me, I belong to you.
Amazing. I'm going to do the deep part. Girl, you know I really love you. Yeah, that's I'm going to talk in my deep voice for a little while. Man, that was so good. Thank you. You have been such a wonderful, gracious guest. We appreciate it so much. And yeah, it's been an awesome Saturday night sharing the screen with you. And just one more time, we are brought to you by the amazing people at Cranbourne Music, and their stores are still open in lockdown. They've been open the whole time, so just go in there and ask the wonderful staff to help you out. They're Limbrook and Elizabeth Street City stores. Online, click and collect, go get it delivered. And don't forget their amazing special event at the moment, going right till the end of May, is Tailor Days. So it's extended to the end of May. Buy a tailor, add a tailor for just $149. You jump on their website and you can see all of the information. Of course, with all of this information, conditions apply. Gary, you have been wonderful. Thank you again, man.
Thank you, Brian. God bless you, man. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been live from the Lockdown Lounge on Saturday night. I've been your host, Brian Rolt. I know this because it says so just down there. It does say that. We hope you've had a great Saturday. Join us on Tuesday night. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you then. Good night.